Good morning and welcome. Welcome Liberty High School students, faculty, staff, and special guests. As Liberty High School celebrates its 100th anniversary, it's only fitting that this Memorial Day, we take time to honor the memory of Liberty High School students and graduates who served the military and our country and ultimately lost their lives in that service. In the Liberty High School lobby, there's a plaque dedicated to Liberty High School students and graduates that served in World War II. It's a modest plaque, but at the bottom of the plaque is a quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson. It simply states, "When duty whispers low, thou must, the youth reply, I can." Our guest speaker today heard that call to duty. Sergeant Major Stephanie L. Cleveland was born and raised in the Lehigh Valley. She attended Clearview and Calypso Elementary Schools, Richmond Middle School, and started her high school career right here at Liberty High School. That was before her family moved to Florida in 1994. She enlisted in the Army in 1998 during her senior year of high school. Throughout her Army career, Sergeant Major Cleveland has held leadership positions in every level in many locations. Sergeant Major Cleveland became only the 11th Sergeant Major of the Army Public Affairs on July 1st, 2021. Prior to her selection as Sergeant Major of the Public Affairs, she was a Garrison Command Sergeant Major for Natick Soldier Systems Center in Natick, Massachusetts. Prior to these more current positions, Sergeant Major Cleveland served in several leadership positions at home and abroad, including a deployment in Kuwait in support of Operation Desert Spring, and 3 deployments to Afghanistan in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. For her service, Sergeant Major Cleveland has been recognized numerous times, receiving, among many others, 4 Meritorious Service Medals, 2 Bronze Stars, and the Sergeant Audie Murphy Award, which is reserved for non-commissioned officers who consistently demonstrate the highest qualities of leadership, professionalism, and regard for the welfare of their soldiers. In today's military, service members are expected to continue their education. As such, Sergeant Major Cleveland has graduated from multiple military and Department of Defense programs and earned a Bachelor of Arts degree in communications from St. Thomas Edison State University in Trenton, New Jersey. Sergeant Major Cleveland is currently stationed in Fort Belvoir, Virginia. She is married to a fellow soldier and has 2 adult stepdaughters. Despite her many years away from Bethlehem, I suppose you could say she was built by Bethlehem. It's my pleasure to introduce to you Sergeant Major Stephanie Cleveland.
Good morning. Dr. Bailey, Mr. Wuchter, thank you for the opportunity to be a part of this important event. Staff, faculty, and students, it's an honor to join you in paying tribute to the men and women who gave their lives in service to our country. I'd also like to take a moment to thank another special group represented here today. When a service member is killed in action with our nation, they leave behind what we call Gold Star families. Joining us today are a few relatives representing Gold Star families of fallen Liberty alumni. Thank you for joining us today, and most importantly, for your sacrifice and for your continued support of our military. If you had told me nearly 30 years ago when I walked these halls as a student that someday I'd be working in the Pentagon and come back here to tell you about what Memorial Day means to me, I probably would have laughed. It doesn't seem like that long ago that Memorial Day meant cookouts, the start of summer, and community pools opening. I imagine that's what it means now to many of you as you look forward to the last day of school. I joined the Army because it seemed like a logical path for me to become a combat correspondent, which was my goal at the time. I stayed because I loved what the Army represented and the people I served alongside. Somewhere along the way, the meaning of Memorial Day changed for me. Yesterday marked 11 years since 6 of my friends were killed by a series of roadside bombs in Afghanistan. That day, and the days that follow, remain one of the greatest shaping events of my life. The programs for their memorial service are part of a stack held together with a binder clip that helps me remember all of my friends who gave their lives so you and I can enjoy our freedoms. For the family of Liberty graduate Captain Robert Latham, who served as an explosive ordnance disposal officer, this is the second Memorial Day where the day will have a different meaning. For the family of Paul Bidwell, a Liberty graduate who was killed by sniper fire in World War II, it's a chance to reflect on the sacrifice their ancestor made to protect the world from tyranny and bigotry. For the family and friends of Liberty graduate and Marine Corporal Kyle Grimes, whose sister was one of my classmates, it will be a day of wondering who he would have been had he not been killed in Iraq in 2005. For all who've been directly touched by losses of loved ones and friends, one day isn't enough time to remember. We remember every anniversary, the last conversations we had, the last emails, our last interactions. We think about the things we said, the things we didn't say, the things we'd have done differently if we had the opportunity. Some of us think about whether the end result was worth the cost, whether the decisions we made were the right ones, whether there were any indicators that some other action could have or should have been taken. When I first started losing friends, I found myself angry that others could so casually celebrate Memorial Day with burgers and hot dogs. I thought it was a disservice to my friends who would never return. Over time, I've learned that we can't change the past, but we can honor, we can remember, and we can do our best to teach those who come behind us what we've learned. What I've learned is that you should celebrate Memorial Day. Our friends and loved ones gave their lives to protect our rights to do exactly that. They gave their lives to a cause bigger than themselves, so that people in America and around the world can live without oppression and enjoy freedoms so often taken for granted. So as you go into this weekend, I ask you to celebrate your freedoms. But please take a moment in these celebrations to think about and honor the people who died preserving these rights. Our freedoms are dependent on men and women who are willing to give their lives in service to our nation. Men and women who are proud to serve a cause greater than themselves. Men and women who understand that freedom is not free. Men and women like Robert Latham, Paul Bidwell, and Kyle Grimes. Thank you again for this opportunity to share a little bit of my story. And most importantly, thank you for helping to honor our fallen soldiers and service members.
I want to first begin by thanking everyone for coming out and being a part of this. Directly want to thank our speaker today, and I understand you have a relative here, Debbie Coleman, so thank you very much for that. We appreciate that connection. Want to also thank all of the other service members here with us today. One of the things that comes up whenever we have this event is that we have to face a reality that, as our speaker so eloquently stated, that freedom is not free. And we will go on this weekend, and many of us will sit at barbecues and have family events. And I hope that as a result of what you heard today, you take a moment to remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice. That number is great. But the fact that they made that sacrifice is the reason we don't even think about it. But we should. We are sending, I think it's 10 students this year who will graduate as seniors and go on to the military to serve. They too are taking the chance of being a part of that ultimate sacrifice. They are putting their lives on the line so that we don't have to. And so we need to remember that. We need to celebrate the fact that we live in a country where people are willing to do that for us. It is an important thing to remember and to honor. I want to, again, thank you all for being here, for your attention to this, for your willingness to pay tribute to our fallen military soldiers. It is a beautiful thing to see you all here. And I hope you take this experience back to your own families and share it with them. Thank you also to Mr. Wuchter, who helps to coordinate this, to all of our music department who are a part of this as well. Also want to recognize Dr. Silva, who's here with us. Thank you for being with us, Dr. Silva. And I wish you all a honorable Memorial Weekend. Thank you.